Hello, I am here to do my check-in for round two of the Chloe Ting 2022 Weight Loss Challenge. I actually started on Tuesday, so I just hit day 4, and today is active rest day. So I thought I would just drop in with you all and just share how the week has been going for me and um, just to give a little perspective on where I'm at now that I'm on actually my second round of this. I had such a positive experience with the first round. I really enjoyed my active rest for that week. It was such a good thing for me to do. My body really needed it, especially after that, week of just 6 days of training back to back to back with the culmination. My body was definitely wanting the rest, and a week was about the perfect amount of time. So I'm really glad that I gave myself that opportunity to just drop in and rest. It was so necessary, and was a very wise decision on my part. So grateful that I am periodizing this and not just, relentlessly pushing ahead from one challenge to the next, but taking that little week of pause to just drop in, feel where I'm at, and just get clear on what's needed moving forward. So, um, yeah, I was surprised. I thought maybe I might want to like go out and have some like special treat or something on my week of active rest. I mean, I'm an intuitive eater, so I can eat whatever I want whenever I want, but I do notice that when I'm in active training, I tend not to want to go and like have things like, you know, lots of treats. I am more conscious, I am more aware of how I'm fueling my body because it's a lot of work, right? Like training is a lot of work, and I don't want to like sabotage my hard work. And plus, food that's heavy and bogs you down and compromises your energy just isn't appealing when you're training. You want fuel that actually supports the work you're doing. So, sometimes I tell people that just in my work as an intuitive eating counselor, if you want to start seeing changes, and the food choices you're making, a good place to start actually is not by restricting foods, but just get your body moving. Get your body moving, up your self-care. As you start to take better care of yourself and get some time to really move your body, it makes you so much more aware of your body and how you're actually feeling. That a lot of times that's a problem. When people have issues with overeating or constantly going to comfort foods. A lot of times the issue is that they're not really connected to their bodies, they're not really connected to how they're feeling. And they're using food to either, soothe emotions, that they don't really want to look at, or maybe, they haven't been feeling so great. They're struggling in their life, and turning to the food, turning to the comfort food is just like this opportunity, even if it's just temporary, to have this moment of experiencing some kind of pleasure, something that's enjoyable, even though ultimately it doesn't make you feel so hot, right? And you're left with the after effects of that. So moving your body is just such a great way to get you reconnected with your actual experience of being in your body. Like, what is it like? Am I feeling healthy? Am I feeling vital? Starting this week in my second round was just, it was awesome. I mean, I will admit, I had an opportunity to overcome a self-sabotaging, pattern. And that's that I've done this in the past, where I've periodized my training. I used to do it through panchakarmas. Panchakarma is like a sort of a way to bring your health back into balance in Ayurveda that employs a lot of different means, mind, body, spirit techniques. And I used to put myself on these self-care, panchakarmas, 40 days in a row. I would do this. And then I would take 2 weeks off, in between. Well, that didn't work out so well for me because sometimes what would happen is 2 weeks was too long of a period to take off. And it would sort of get me back into old habits. And I would get distracted from the focus and the momentum that I had going with Panchakarma. So I already knew about that heading into this. And that's why I chose to only do a week as opposed to 2 weeks. And I'm glad that I did that. I think that that was a very wise choice. But I did notice that at the end of my week of active rest, on Monday night, right before I was about to start on Tuesday to do my second round of the Chloe Ting challenge, I found myself like coming up with excuses, for why I should delay starting the second round. I found myself saying, oh, well, I'm really tired, maybe I should start it a little later. I mean, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like maybe I'll start it on new moon. New moon's a good time to start a new, life change, a new lifestyle change. And then I was like, well, new moon just happened not too long ago, so it's too far away. And I was like, well, maybe the full moon. I found myself in that place where it's like bargaining about making myself a priority, about making myself care a priority, when I already experienced how wonderful this has been for me, like on every level. I feel so radically different now than I did before I started that first round of the Chloe Ting challenge. Everything has improved, everything. And it's not an exaggeration. Mentally, I'm more clear, I'm more focused, I'm more goal oriented and in a positive way, in an encouraging way. As far as my self-esteem is concerned, I feel more empowered, I have more trust in myself because I followed through with something that was challenging for me. And I got to see firsthand, if you do the work, if you put in the work, you get the reward. Like the payoff for my investment was so huge. I purged a lot of emotions, like so many emotions came out of me. And that's one thing that I didn't really expect with the Chloe Ting challenge, but it's something I know as an Ayurvedic practitioner, that as we start to really care for ourselves and we start to give ourselves the attention that we've needed that's been lacking, and we get things moving physically, it tends to move our emotions as well, because there's such an intimate connection between lymphatic flow and the flow of our emotions. You got stuck lymph, chances are you got stuck emotions that need to be cleared out. And so I didn't really anticipate it though, but I was really surprised. It made me realize how much I've been holding inside, and how much I had to let go, how much I needed to feel my feelings, how much I've just been sort of disconnected from that I've been disconnected from my body by not, giving my body this care, this attention of, moving my body in this way. And I did have like a lot of emotional release. And as I released those emotions, I felt so much lighter, just more free, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Like just, it opened me up to so much and made me realize what a priority this is. And yeah, physically, I released a lot too. And actually, I was kind of surprised because I wanted to take my starting measurements for this round. So after my week of active rest, I took my measurements again and I dropped another 1.25 inches. So that's a total of 16.75 inches I've released since I started this, which is just huge. It's huge, okay? And yeah, it's interesting. I didn't really want the treats and stuff during my week of active rest. I was just still really enjoying making the nutritious choices, and didn't want to unravel how good my body was feeling. And so I pretty much stuck with it. I did have one like kind of indulgence, and that was I went out and I got myself a bag of the Creators Chicago blend popcorn. It's caramel corn mixed with cheddar corn. It's so good. And I got myself a whole bag. I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy this. This is so yummy, and I loved it. It was great. But then it was like it was enough. I didn't really need anything else, and I didn't really find myself craving anything. And I feel like I'm really in my flow. I'm just really in my flow with intuitive eating. Um, Everything feels really balanced for me. And I'm just feeling super stoked about all of that. So I overcame my challenge. I caught myself. I was very present, and I brought that awareness in, and I caught myself trying to bargain out of my self-care. I'm like, what is this part of me? Like, this has been nothing but a positive experience for me. Like, why would I try to bargain out of proceeding and moving forward towards my goal of reaching, my most healthy place by the time I turn 50? I'm that's my goal. And I got all the way until October 13th to get there. So I've given myself plenty of time for where I'm at. And I feel just really great about my progress. So I jumped in. I didn't put it off. I jumped in right when I planned. I took my week off, and then I got right back to it on Tuesday. And I got my first 3 workouts down. And oh my gosh. I mean, when I started this, I was like yelling and cussing, and I just thought it was crazy. Like, how am I going to do this? I started so strong. Just to be able to just dive in and just go right for the high intensity moves, just to be able to just see that contrast of where I was at. I mean, I had trouble transitioning from exercise to exercise when I started the first round. This round was like, bring it, Chloe. I was like right in pace with her. That made me feel so amazing. And I'm noticing that it's good that I'm bringing in the resistance bands and weights with this round. And in fact, I'm going to go and take care of getting my hands on some of those this weekend. I'm going to buy some because I really find that it's a lot easier for me this round. It felt so tough the first time, and it's much easier. And again, I had moves after that week of active rest that I had been challenged by even on that last week of the first round of the challenge that I was able to do. So it shows you the value of rest, to have that balance where you're not just like push, but you really listen to your body, and you give your body a chance to like bounce back too. It's like so important. So I'm feeling great. And today I'm just chilling out. It's my active rest day, and I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I'm still doing the Wim Hof cold showers, but I found that I'm not really vibing with his breath work. I prefer other pranayama methods from Ayurveda. So I think that's what I'm going to bring in this round. I don't know. I think the cold showers really do me great, but I'm not experiencing like this big turnaround with the breath work. I feel like it hasn't really improved my lung capacity much. Yeah. And I'm not feeling the need to hold my breath for that long either. So I kind of like settled into that. I'm like, I don't know if this is really the type of breath work I want to do. I think I'm going to work with some other pranayamas, maybe some like alternate nostril breathing, ujjayi breath, maybe some breath of fire. I want to start working with more yoga principle breath work as I move through this round of the challenge. But I'm absolutely going to keep the Wim Hof cold showers because I love it. Although I'm going to switch that up a little bit too. I'm going to keep the cold shower aspect, but I'm going to start to do more of a lymphatic stimulation shower. I'm about to move back into the second round also of my Kapha Reset course on Cobra's Medicine Bag. And that involves a week Kapha Reset cleanse. And we do a lot of lymphatic stimulation in that course. And since it's going live again for the 6 weeks of its second launch, I'm going to be joining along with that group of people going through it. So I think I'm going to bring in more lymphatic stimulation type of cold showers where I alternate between, the hot and the cold water and kind of go back and forth and then finish with a cold rinse. I think it'll just boost things for me. I am going to keep more of that stress reduction. I've continued to do the wind down at night where I take that time for me to just disconnect from social media, put on an ASMR video, do something that's just sort of light and relaxing and where I can just receive some care from another, even if it's, through video. It makes a difference. It really does. And again, just shout out to Silver Hair ASMR here on YouTube. He is phenomenal. Go check him out. He has been a lifesaver for me. He's done so much to help me just find balance at times when I've felt really stressed. He's made me feel so supported, and he really is a beautiful spirit. So I highly encourage you to check him out. He's totally rad. And yeah, so I'm feeling really good about this challenge. I think that I am going to sort of continue to share what my starting, where I was at when I started. So we know that I'm down now 16.75 inches, total body inches. And we're going to go ahead and, that's what I wanted to bring in. One of the areas where I saw more release, was in my waist on the week of active rest. So this is key, okay? And I feel this especially applies to, people that are my age, okay? I'm going to be turning 50 this year. So I think that stress piece and balancing those hormones like cortisol, it so comes into play more with bringing the waist down. Because it was wild. Oh, wow, I saw a change in my waist. And I didn't do anything this week. So there's something to it. There's something to this stress reduction piece for sure. So that's definitely going to be more of a focus for me going through this round. And I think it's going to be excellent because that's really incorporated in the Kapha Reset course. And so I'm excited to sort of pair Chloe Ting's training with my Ayurvedic course and just experience that. What happens when I merge these two worlds, and what kind of results do I get when I'm doing all this kapha balancing too? So I'm super, super excited about this and just to see what happens. And yeah, that's my focus for this round. I'm also going to be checking in once a week with this round of the challenge. This is my broad coven channel. But I did want to share a bit about this because it's a big part of who I am. And in reading for you guys and, connecting with you on that level, when you're doing readings and you're connecting with people, it goes deep, and a lot of the stuff that I bring in the readings, we go into some shit, right? So it's I sort of feel I want you to feel comfortable with me as a reader, and when you come here and receive a reading. And at the same time, I feel a big part of that is letting you really get to know me as I am and sharing myself from a real place for those who would like to get to know me better, get to know who's reading them better. And also, Ayurveda does inform a lot of what I bring in, and just how I relay information, how I do my channeling. And I think it's kind of cool because I do all this reading, right, for the different signs, the different elemental signs, the air signs, the fire signs, the water signs, the earth signs. And, Ayurveda is all elemental too. So I really don't see it as like very separate. But I did want to give an opportunity for those who would like to work with me on a deeper level beyond just like receiving a reading, but you know, actually learning about how they can really empower themselves in their self care, in their health care, in their lives on every level, mind, body, spirit. I wanted to, let you all know about what I do over at Cobra's Medicine Bag. Okay. And if you want to find that YouTube channel, I do have a YouTube channel up there too. I am going to start being more active there. I don't have a whole lot of videos up there right now, but it is something to stay tuned for because I'm going to be doing a lot more, and going to be doing a lot more here too on Broad Coven as well. Like, I want to bring weekly lives to both channels. So if you do want to check out what I'm doing at Cobra's Medicine Bag and connect there, I do have that channel listed on my Broad Coven channel as my other channel. So, just check that out. But yeah, so I kind of just wanted to bring in a bit of my personal journey, and share about that with all of you. And this is a big part of it. It's also part of being abroad, it's just like taking care of ourselves, living our best lives, being empowered, and I can't think of anything more empowering than, self-care, showing up for yourself and investing in yourself. And so that's what my vlog is about, and this is just my physical journey, and my journey towards being empowered in my physical health and getting to that place of, my most fit by the time I turn 50. I want to totally like revamp how people think of turning 50, it doesn't have to be this negative thing. And I think I'm holding up very well for someone who is less than a year away from turning 50. So I'm feeling pretty good about all of it. And I hope you're enjoying, the check-ins, and that it is offering you support and maybe inspiring you, if not to do a Chloe Ting challenge, just how can you start to show up for yourself more and, empower yourself by putting yourself first is so important. Okay. So yes, here we go. Round 2. I'll be back next week to check in sometime and let you know how this week went and how it played out, and also how I'm doing at the time I check in. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for dropping in with me, sharing your time with me. And as always, please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, share, drop in, tell me about your journey, tell me about your experience. What are you doing to show up for yourself? I'd love to build a supportive community here. And as always, I value you, I appreciate you, and I know how valuable your time is. So the fact that you choose to come here and share it with me by watching what I'm putting out there, it really does mean the world. And thank you for being here at the start of my YouTube journey. As I'm getting my chops, and building up the channel, I really do appreciate all the support, and I appreciate you. All right, day 4 down of round 2. I'm going to get it.